There's one name, that everyone's circling like vultures. Shedeur Sanders. The rest of the NFL is collectively losing its mind. Teams are scrambling. Trade offers are stacking up like unread emails. And every franchise in need of quarterback is essentially on their knees saying, "Please, Cleveland, we will give you anything, just name your price." Shedeur Sanders isn't just another hotshot out of college with a flashy arm and a famous last name. Sure, being Deion Sanders' son doesn't hurt. But Shedeur's success didn't ride on Daddy's coattails. The man delivered. At Colorado, he put up monster stats, read defenses like a seasoned vet, and, oh yeah, brought leadership and poise that scouts dream about. So when Cleveland drafted him, people were hype. The media had a field day. Analysts were cautiously optimistic. If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed. And fans? Oh, they were ready. Browns Nation hasn't had hope like that in years. But then, silence. No reps with the first team. No preseason starts. Just benched. And not just benched, buried. Third string. Fans are confused. The press started poking around. And rival teams? Oh, they saw the blood in the water. This is the NFL. No one wastes time. If a potential star is being mishandled, you bet someone's called with a trade offer. Which brings us to now, a full-blown frenzy. Multiple franchises, some desperate, some strategic, are trying to get their hands on Shedeur Sanders before the trade deadline hits on November 4th. And not just quietly. Word is, teams are tossing around first-round picks, player packages, future considerations, even sweeteners like salary relief. You name it. This isn't just interest, it's obsession. And yet Cleveland refuses to budge. It's like they've convinced themselves that keeping Sanders as an emergency option is somehow smarter than cashing in or, actually playing him. Let's be real here. What exactly are the Browns protecting? Their QB1 hasn't exactly been lighting up the field. The current offense is a snooze fest. There's no rhythm, no dynamism, and certainly no upside. So you're telling me they have a young quarterback who could breathe life into the system, and instead, they're locking him in the closet like he's a cursed artifact? It doesn't add up. And what makes this even wilder is the fact that Shedeur has kept it classy through all of this. He hasn't gone scorched earth. No subtweets, no diva moments, no get me out of here theatrics. Just quiet hustle, professionalism, and continued support for his teammates. That's rare. That's valuable. Which is why executives across the league are salivating. Imagine plugging in Shedeur on a team like the Falcons, who are just one quarterback away from real contention. Or the Raiders, desperate for leadership and offensive identity. Even teams with entrenched starters are whispering, "Hey, what if we just stash him for a year, just in case?" This isn't just hype, it's calculated risk. It's long-term thinking. It's the future. So why is Cleveland acting like Sanders is a trade-proof artifact? That's the million-dollar question. Some say it's ego. The front office doesn't want to admit they've botched their QB strategy again. Others think they're just overly cautious, terrified of letting him go and watching him become a superstar somewhere else. But here's the problem. They're doing nothing either way. Not trading him, not playing him. Just holding. And the NFL doesn't wait around for teams that can't make a decision. Every day Sanders sits on the bench, his development stalls. You can't learn to lead an NFL team from the sideline, holding a clipboard. And if Cleveland really believed in him as their future, they'd be getting him reps. Period. Instead, it's like they're hoarding him just to say they can. That kind of organizational paralysis is dangerous. It's how you fumble a generational talent. It's how you become the franchise that had the next great QB and didn't even realize it until he was holding up a Lombardi trophy for someone else. And you know what? The rest of the league knows it. Teams are watching Cleveland with a mix of confusion, frustration, and, let's be honest, hope. Because if the Browns keep refusing to act, maybe, just maybe, someone will offer enough to finally break their grip. Or worse, maybe Sanders will just sit out his rookie contract, wasting years of potential while the league moves on without him. We've seen this story before. Talented players getting boxed in by bad management. It's like watching a rocket ship stuck in a garage because no one wants to unlock the door. And what happens if the Browns finally cave? If they accept one of the massive offers on the table and let Sanders go? Well, then buckle up, because wherever he lands, if he lands, he's instantly the most talked about quarterback in the league. The narrative flips. The fans flood in. The merch flies off shelves. And Cleveland? They're left with another cautionary tale and a fan base asking, why didn't we just play the kid? And if they don't trade him, if they keep him benched while their offense limps through the season, then they better be right. Because if Sanders walks later and explodes into superstardom elsewhere, it'll haunt them forever. So here we are, a ticking clock. November 4th is coming fast. The NFL is holding its breath. Teams are sharpening their pitches. Analysts are refreshing trade trackers like it's the stock market. And Browns fans? They're somewhere between furious and exhausted. Cleveland's front office may think they're playing the long game, but in reality, they're running out of time. This isn't just a trade dilemma. It's a franchise-defining moment. So what's it going to be? Will the Browns let go and reshape the league with a blockbuster move? Or will they hold tight, stall Sanders' career, and risk missing out on the most exciting quarterback prospect in years? Whatever happens, one thing is certain. This isn't just a football story. This is legacy, pride, ego, and desperation colliding in real time. And when the clock strikes November 4th, we'll all find out who blinked first. Comment below. Should the Browns trade Shedeur Sanders or finally give him the keys to the offense? And if he does get traded, which team do you think will take the risk? Smash that subscribe button for more wild meltdowns, sports soap operas, and front office facepalms. You don't want to miss what happens next. Let's talk brass tacks. Teams don't just beg for quarterbacks like this unless they see something real. We're talking about a league that overpays for average QBs every single season. Guys with game manager written all over their scouting reports somehow end up signing $100 million deals. It's wild. And here comes Shedeur Sanders, athletic, accurate, smart, charismatic, already a media darling. And he's stuck third string behind dudes whose best days are distant memory. Make it make sense. You've got to wonder, what exactly is the Browns' endgame here? Are they trying to keep Shedeur as a backup plan in case the current guys fall apart? That's not a strategy. That's just fear. Fear of committing. Fear of being wrong. Fear of shaking things up. And here's the kicker. Even the fans are losing patience. You can feel it. Scroll through any Browns-related comment section, and it's just a wall of play Shedeur now. Trade Shedeur while his value's high. Why is he even on the team if we're not using him? It's the football version of having Beyoncé in your karaoke group and refusing to let her sing. Like, why are you here then? Now let's flip it. Imagine being Shedeur Sanders right now. You come into the league hot, expectations high, momentum on your side, ready to work, and you're immediately shelved. No first-team reps, no preseason showcase, no development plan, just a front-row seat to mediocrity. And still, he's been quiet. No drama. No sit-down interviews airing grievances. No tell-all TikToks. Just waiting. That kind of restraint, that kind of professionalism, that's not just maturity. That's dangerous, because it means the second this guy gets his shot, he's not going to talk. He's going to show. And that scares the hell out of teams like Cleveland, who know deep down, if they give him an inch, he might just run away with the whole team. And let's be honest, at this point he should, because the league is hungry. You got franchises staring down QB purgatory for the next 5 years, unless they do something drastic. Young quarterbacks are the golden ticket now. They're not just players, they're brands. They're culture. They're the future. And Shedeur? He checks every box. Look at the branding potential alone. The last name? Iconic. The demeanor? Cool under pressure. The community involvement? Off the charts. This is someone who could be the face of a franchise and the face on a cereal box. And Cleveland's answer is to keep him bubble-wrapped like he's a collector's item they're too scared to open. It's starting to feel personal, right? And here's where the real drama kicks in, because there's a deadline, a hard one, November 4th. That's when the trade window slams shut, and everyone's locked into whatever decisions they've made. That means every front office exec with a half-functioning brain is doing the math right now. They're weighing the cost of a trade package versus the cost of missing out. Because if they don't make a move now, they might not get another shot. Meanwhile, Cleveland's sitting there like that kid in a group project who's doing nothing but refuses to let anyone else take over. It's maddening. You can practically hear the frustration leaking out of rival camps. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. The media is buzzing. Analysts are dropping hints. Insiders are leaking reports like it's a faucet they forgot to turn off. And every leak says the same thing. The Browns are blowing this. But let's play devil's advocate for a second. What if Cleveland really does believe in Shedeur? What if they're just waiting for the perfect moment to unleash him? Maybe they think keeping him on ice is smart. Maybe they're protecting him from the pressure, the scrutiny, the grind. Maybe they're trying to avoid another rookie flameout story. If that's the case, they've chosen the worst possible way to show it. Because let's be real, development doesn't happen on the bench. Confidence doesn't grow in the shadows. Stars don't get brighter. When you cover them up, you want to develop a quarterback? You give him reps. You give him trust. You give him the keys, not a clipboard. And that's the heartbreaking part of all this. Because Shedeur might be the guy. The quarterback who could change everything. And yet, week after week, we're watching highlights of other teams trying to build something while Cleveland has the blueprint tucked away in a drawer they won't open. It's frustrating. It's absurd. And honestly, it's starting to feel like sabotage. Because at some point, this isn't about player development or roster strategy. It's about control. It's about ego. It's about a front office that would rather be right than do what's right. And you know what that leads to? Regret. We've seen it before. NFL history is littered with teams who let the future slip through their fingers because they were too proud to pivot, because they couldn't admit they misjudged a player, because they waited too long to make a move. And in those stories, it's never the front office that pays the price. It's the player. It's the fans. It's the legacy. So let's cut through all the noise and say what everyone's thinking. If Cleveland won't trade Shedeur, they need to play him. Period. No more excuses. No more he's not ready. The guy is ready. He's always been ready. And if you're too scared to find out what he can do, then maybe you don't deserve him. And if they do trade him, fine. But don't pretend like that's part of the plan. Don't act like you were waiting for the right moment, because the right moment was yesterday, and the day before that, and every single game where you trotted out a mediocre offense and left your most dynamic player on the bench. At the end of the day, Shedeur Sanders doesn't need Cleveland. But Cleveland? Oh, they might need him more than they know. Because when he blows up somewhere else, the headlines won't be kind. Every sports show, every podcast, every talking head on TV is going to say the same thing. How did the Browns let this happen? And no one wants to be that team. The team that had gold in their hands and threw it away for another season of maybe next year. So, as we inch closer to the trade deadline, the clock isn't just ticking, it's roaring. This is the kind of storyline that shapes careers, ruins reputations, and defines legacies. It's bigger than one player. It's about vision, leadership, decisiveness. It's about whether the Browns are willing to face the future, or whether they're too busy clinging to the past. And you're watching it all unfold in real time. The whispers, the tension, the chaos. This isn't just another trade saga. This is the NFL drama of the season. And whatever happens next, it's going to be loud. You've got a 21-year-old quarterback with poise beyond his years, a cannon for an arm, football royalty in his bloodline, and a kind of off-field charisma that marketing departments dream about. And instead of building a team around him, Cleveland's got him parked in the back like he's a valet driver, waiting for someone to toss him the keys they never intend to hand over. But here's the part that makes this whole saga feel like a Greek tragedy in shoulder pads. The Browns are acting like they're the ones being pursued, like they're holding a priceless antique, fielding offers just to flex, not because they intend to move it. It's giving high school crush who knows everyone likes them energy, cocky, aloof, a little too smug for their own good. They're treating Shedeur like he's a crown jewel in a collection they never actually wear. And the rest of the league is just screaming from outside the glass case like, if you're not going to use him, give him to someone who will. Let's talk about some of these hypothetical offers coming in. Because even if the Browns haven't confirmed them, everyone and their grandmother knows that multiple teams have picked up the phone. Think 2 first-rounders and a player. Think young defensive stars. Think rebuild accelerating packages. There are franchises willing to gut their draft capital just to get a chance at developing Shedeur into a generational QB. And Cleveland? They'd rather sit in silence and watch their current QB room throw for 160 yards a game with the grace of a folding chair. There's a difference between being protective of talent and possessive. And right now, the Browns are crossing that line with boldness. Let's zoom out. In the last decade, how many franchise quarterbacks have actually panned out? Like, really hit that elite level? Maybe 10? Maybe 12? Meanwhile, the graveyard of overhyped prospects and wasted potential is overflowing. Teams dream of landing someone with Shedeur's upside. He's not just a maybe, he's a momentum shift. And yet Cleveland's treating him like an inconvenient secret. And if you think this hasn't rattled the locker room, think again. Players know what's up. You think the veterans aren't watching practice and muttering, damn, the kid can really throw? You think the receivers aren't quietly hoping maybe this week he gets bumped up? You think the defense isn't tired of watching the offense punt every third possession while a guy like Sanders is eating sunflower seeds on the bench? That tension? That unspoken, why isn't he playing? Vibe? It builds. And when a team starts to lose, it turns into noise, then into frustration, and finally into leaks. That's when the media gets wind of it. That's when the fan base starts turning. That's when the narrative slips out of the team's control and becomes public property. And let's not forget, Shedeur isn't your average rookie. This isn't some guy who lucked into a few good games and now thinks he's hot stuff. This is someone who's been coached by Deion Sanders since birth, who's had cameras on him since Pop Warner, who knows how to handle media, pressure, and expectations. So if you think he's just going to sit quietly forever while the clock ticks and the window closes, please, the patience has an expiration date. And when it runs out, oh, baby, you're going to see a feeding frenzy unlike anything we've seen since the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes, or heck, the Peyton Manning post-surgery auction. Teams will be ready with packages on standby. Social media will go full DEFCON 1. Analysts will be staging mock trades live on air. Because everyone knows this doesn't make sense. You do not bury quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders. And yet, here we are, counting down the days to November 4th like it's the NFL's version of the Purge. Let's get a little dramatic for a second. Picture this. It's the night before the trade deadline. Cleveland has just lost another winnable game. Offense looking like a high school team caught in a windstorm. The pressure is peaking. Talk shows are running should they trade him? Specials. Twitter is melting down. Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Shedeur's agent is making calls. He's talking to teams. He's gathering leverage. And someone, maybe the Falcons, maybe the Vikings, maybe even the Patriots, is offering the moon and stars for one chance at turning their franchise around. The Browns? Still on hold. The next morning, boom, the deadline passes. No trade. And the fallout? Oof. The media spins it as Cleveland refuses to move. Headlines scream, future star wasted on the bench. Hot take artists tee off. The locker room seats. And fans? Oh, they riot digitally, of course. Calls to fire the GM. Calls to boycott games. Calls to start Sanders now or else. And at that point, the Browns are boxed in because now you've made your bed. Either you finally start Shedeur and deal with the massive pressure that comes with making him the hero you refuse to believe in for 8 weeks, or you ride the rest of the season out knowing every throw from your starter is just another reminder of what could have been. It's lose-lose, all because they couldn't make a decision when it mattered. Let's be clear. If they're not going to use him, they have to trade him. Keeping him as insurance is a coward's path. It's the NFL version of hoarding. And what happens when you hoard something too long? It loses value. It gathers dust. It rots. Because if they wait too long, and Shedeur sits for a year or two, his shine starts to fade. The what-if turns into maybe not. And then he's just another name on the list of could-have-beens. But if they move now, if they let him go to a team that believes in him, he could be the start of something massive, a culture shift, a playoff run, a new era. And Cleveland, they'll be the ex watching from a distance saying, yeah, we used to talk. Look, at the end of the day, the NFL is a business, but it's also a show. And right now, Shedeur Sanders is the most captivating storyline not being told on the field. He's lightning in a bottle, but bottles only hold pressure for so long. Tick, tick, tick. This story isn't about stats. It's not about depth charts. It's about identity. It's about who you want to be as a franchise. Do you want to be bold, forward-thinking, unafraid? Or do you want to be Cleveland? Again, because the league is watching. The fans are watching. Shedeur is watching. And when the clock hits 0, someone's either walking away with the quarterback of the future or the biggest missed opportunity in recent NFL memory. So one more time for the people in the back. Should the Browns trade Shedeur Sanders or finally unleash him and watch the fireworks? Sound off in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more breakdowns of sports meltdowns, chaotic front offices, and the moments that make you yell at your TV. Because whatever happens next, it's going to be legendary.